Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. I'm really excited for episode 470 to have my good friend Maria Sanders here. And Maria is a licensed social worker and a PCI certified parent coach. Welcome, Maria.
Hi, Erin. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you here. So, you are going to be also one of the speakers at our Now Digital, Now Fully Free Revolutionizing Parenthood Conference happening on April 25th. And you're going to be talking or presenting with Cheryl Stoller about parenting consciously and collaboratively, which
That's
is
right.
it's going to be awesome.
Yep.
So I thought it would be fun and valuable for parents today if we chat about how parents can consciously or collaboratively parent their children during this crazy pandemic crisis that we're living through right now.
Yeah. So it's a big shift, and all of this parenting collaboratively, all the skills that I've learned and that I've shared with parents and teachers really is going to come in handy right now because the crux of collaborative problem solving, the philosophy is kids will do well if they can. And if they can't, it means something's getting in their way. And
Mhm.
we as the adults need to figure out what that is. So right now, there's a lot getting in our kids' way.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
also a lot getting in our way, right? So as much as we say kids will do well if they can, parents will also do well if they can.
Mhm.
So yes, I might talk a bit about kids, but also keep in mind we also have skills and we also have things getting in our way. Um, and the three main things that we want to focus on is building the skills of flexibility, frustration tolerance, and problem solving. Those end up being the three main skill areas that do get in the way for our kids and even sometimes for us. Um, and so the whole idea, kind of like a nutshell of the collaborative problem solving is taking the time to see our kids, to
Mhm.
hear our kids. The whole idea is I'm not going to come to you as my child as the boss and lay down the law and say, this is the way it's going to be. It's going to be my way or the highway. Because what ends up happening is behaviors then tend to escalate. The child doesn't feel heard, they don't feel seen, the behaviors start to escalate. Doing that kind of approach also doesn't help build the relationship. And we all know that the relationship is what's key. The relationship between parent and child is what is going to help be able to work through these problem areas, these challenging areas. And so instead of going that approach where the parent says it's my way or the highway, we want to work collaboratively with our child. We also don't want to say, you know what, I'm going to let it go and not even address it. And while there might be times we might choose to say it's my way right now, and there might be times we say, I'm going to let this go. For example, right now we're dealing with this coronavirus. We might say the adult's way is, hey, you are not leaving the house. And that is my law right now. This is for safety reasons. It's going to be this way. We might also say, you know what? I'm going to let this go. You want to watch another show? You want another hour on the iPad? I'm going to be able to let that go for right now because I know this is different times. And as long as we're choosing, making those choices with a conscious mindset, I understand that there's going to be ramifications with both, and that we understand what our intention is, why we're making that decision to parent one way or the other, then that's okay. They're all acceptable, acceptable ways of parenting. The real focus is working collaboratively because you can always work collaboratively with your child, where you might say to your child, I notice something's going on. You've been retreating to your room quite a bit. I've noticed you're in your room a whole lot more than you ever have been. Can you tell me what's going on? And so just by doing that, you're inviting a conversation and you just stay quiet. I notice that you've been in your room quite a bit. And then you stay silent. And why
Mhm.
do you stay silent? Because you want your child to start talking.
Mhm.
Because usually when a parent is going to address a challenging problem, a challenging behavior, that already puts our kid in a state of dysregulation where they're feeling anxiety or frustration or whatever, or fear that their parent's going to punish them or whatever. And so by inviting them into the conversation and staying quiet, that in itself regulates them. When a child feels seen and heard,
Mm.
they feel regulated. And
Mhm.
so we want to do our best to stay quiet. Maybe we'll ask questions. Tell me a little bit more about that. Do you think maybe it's because you see your friends going out to the park and playing basketball and I'm not letting you? Do you think maybe that's why this is happening? You've been angry or going to your room more often. And asking those questions. Asking questions is also really regulating because, again, we're putting the ball in the kids' court. We're letting them do the talking. And once we're able to talk and let things out, that kind of lets out all that pent up anger and anxiety and worry and fear. Um, and so we really want to hear from them. We really want to come from a place of curiosity and really as if we really want to know what's going on. What is that thing that's getting in their way? What is getting in their way right now? Remember, kids will do well if they can, and if they can't, something's getting in their way. So we really need to discover what that is. So coming from that place of curiosity, some reflective listening. It sounds like what you're telling me is that it really doesn't feel fair to you, that none of this makes sense. So reflecting back what you hear, offering them some reassurance. Reassurance is also regulating. Hey, I'm not making any decisions. I'm not punishing you. I really just want to hear from you. I really want to know what's going on. I'm here to help you. I'm here as your partner. Let's do this together. And so reassurance is regulating, reflective listening is regulating, asking those questions helps us dig deep to figure out what is that's getting in the way. And then we want to take a minute to explain our point of view. When we explain our concern, we want to narrow it down to one of four areas: health, impact on impact on others, learning, and safety. A lot of times when parents get a chance to talk, we talk, and we don't be quiet. We're like, these are all the reasons why I'm so concerned. So we want to really tailor it down and keep it short and sweet. My
Mhm.
concern is your safety. I want to make sure that our family is safe from this virus and that we're able to give a chance to the medical workers and everyone else who needs to be on the front lines their space to take care of those in need. And that's all we say.
Mhm.
And then we follow up by working collaboratively. So do you have any ideas? You would say this to your child. So do you have any ideas about how we can address your concern, which is seeing your friends, and at the same time, and that's key, that word and at the same time is key because you don't want to say but, because the minute you say but, their idea goes out the window.
Mhm.
So we say and. My concern, your concern to see your friends, and at the same time, my concern of health and safety. And come up with some ideas, come up with a game plan together. And maybe it's an idea that works, maybe it's an idea that doesn't work, but together we can come up with some ideas. And the biggest thing there is that our kids feel seen and heard. And I know a lot of us parent coaches talk about that. And the reason we talk about that is because it really is so important.
It is so important. And as you were talking, I was thinking about my 17-year-old. You and I were talking about him before we hit the record button. And I have parented him in that spirit always. Well, since I learned. I was not that aware of all this stuff when he was very, very little, 4, 5, 6, 7. But as I figured it out and understood it and saw how remarkably powerful this way of parenting is, I certainly did shift and transform my own household at the same time as how I help parents.
Mhm.
But I was sharing with you, he's really having a hard time being restricted and not being able to go out. And We had a nice long talk last night. We've been having talks maybe 2 or 3 times a week. So I'm not trying to hammer him and
Mm,
constantly hover over him, but every couple days, either he gives me an opening, some kind of indication that he needs to talk, or I'll just check in with him just gently.
mhm.
Because, a 17-year-old boy doesn't want to talk to his mom every day about deep things. Um, but a couple times a week, I think, is a blessing. So we were talking last night, and he is struggling because some of the people he knows are still, well, as of yesterday, we're still allowed to be out and about moving around. And he is struggling because I won't let him. And I said to him kind of the same stuff. I understand. I understand how hard this is for you. I understand it's torture. I don't understand why those parents are letting their kids congregate and go wherever they want. It doesn't seem sensible to me right now, but I understand why it's torturing you. And you have to know that I have, and he knows this, because when anything becomes an issue, this is where I go with him. But I have always said to him, you know that I try to say yes as often as I possibly can. And when I say no, it's for, it's for a good reason. And right now, my no is a capital no. And my dog doesn't like being told no either. He wants to go out, but the door is shut. So, but anyway, so I told him it's a capital no. And, I understand it's hard for you. And if you want to be angry with me, if you want to vent all your frustration at me,
Mhm.
go for it, because I'm a big girl and I can handle it and I'm here for you. And the funny thing was, he said, through the conversation, he said, I, I've, there's nothing else to vent at you. I've said it all. I've gotten it all out. And I said, okay, great. Anytime you need to vent, anytime you need to let me have it, whatever you need, I'm here and I can handle it. So,
Right.
um, yes, I can definitely vouch for what you're saying. It definitely works.
Oh, absolutely. Even my little girls, I have a 6 and 8-year-old, and both of them have had their moments of breaking down and crying, but I've loved it too. As
Hmm.
difficult as it
Isn't it
is for
weird to
me to
say
see
that?
it, I'm just so grateful they have this safe space where
Hmm.
they know they can let it out, because none of us can keep stuffing it in and holding it in. It's got to come out, and it's going to come out either in an aggressive way, or some maladaptive way, or we can help it come out in a healthy way. And I told
Hmm.
my girls, talk about it whenever you want, cry about it whenever you want,
Hmm.
draw about it, whatever
Hmm.
it is, it's got to come out.
Hmm.
And so let's
Absolutely.
help them manage these feelings in a healthy and safe way, and teach them the skills that they need so that they can do this, because this is just one thing in their lives that they're going to experience that are difficult. There's going to be other things. And so this is such a great opportunity to start working on that relationship. And we have nothing but time right now to keep trying over and over again to work on building that relationship and making sure that we're providing that space
Hmm.
where no matter what, our kids say, I've got your back. I
Hmm.
love you no matter what. In your darkest hour, in my darkest hour, we're here for each other. And so now we just have a lot of opportunities.
Hmm. That's beautiful. That's a really beautiful way of looking at it, Maria. No matter what, I've got your back.
Hmm.
And I think that message right now is even more vital for our kids to hear that, because we're all in an uncertain time. They're not sure what the future holds, but neither are we.
Right.
And to know, I think, to give the kids that message, no matter what happens, I've got your back. We don't know how it's going, but I'm here no matter what. And what a reassuring message at such an uncertain time.
Hmm.
It's just beautiful.
And, adding to that, it's almost like a domino effect. Like, if I've got my kids back, who's got my back?
Mm.
And then who's got that person's back? And who's
Hmm.
got that person's back? So, yes, I'm going to be there and I've got my kids back, but I got to know who's got my back. Maybe it's my
Yes.
husband, maybe it's my best friend, maybe it's my
Mm.
parent coach, who
Hmm.
I call. But make sure that you've got someone who's got your back too.
And that kind of brings us back to the understanding. You and I already know this, but many people are just now coming to this understanding in this pandemic of just how connected we all are.
Hmm.
We all are kind of getting someone's back and someone's getting our back, and we're helping each other, and we're reaching out to those who might be lonely or live alone or elderly or sick, or where I've seen a lot of really good support for our teachers
Oh yeah.
who are jumping through hoops. What this collective schools, not just my town, which I'm amazed at my town, but I can see it on an up close basis, but towns all over the country and probably all over the world, the way the teachers and the administration pulled off completely going to a fully online format for education is mind-boggling. And I just want to give a shout out to all the school teachers and staff because they are truly amazing.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree.
So we're all supporting each other, and we're all being supported, hopefully, by
Hmm.
someone else. And that's the message we give to our kids, right? We've got you, we're supporting you. And even to let the kids know who supports us. Who do
Yeah,
we turn to when we're afraid?
absolutely.
Mommy or daddy or our best friend or our mom or dad or whoever it is,
Hmm.
so that they can see how connected we all are. And this is how we get through tough times. We stick together.
Right, right.
I love it, Maria. This is fabulous stuff.
It is. It is.
I can't wait until your episode airs because I really think that this is such a valuable discussion for parents, and working collaboratively with their children is so crucial, especially right now.
Oh yeah.
So I can't wait to share it with them, and I can't wait to hear yours and Cheryl's presentation on parenting consciously and collaboratively. I know it's going to be such a gem for parents everywhere.
We're super excited for it. We've been working on it for so
I
long,
know you
and
guys.
both of us have, I don't want to toot our own horn, but we have a lot of wisdom in this area. And so, it's been really fun trying to figure out how to best explain all of this and teach and empower all the parents who'll join us for this to be able to say, here you go, we're handing this to you, and now you get to go use it in your own home. So we're super excited.
Mm. It's going to benefit parents everywhere. I know it. I'm excited too. All right. So, where can people find out more about you, Maria, or connect with you?
Absolutely. So my website is www.mariasandersparentcoach.com. I also have a Facebook page with the same handle at Maria Sanders Parent Coach. And I also have an Instagram page that also is at Maria Sanders Parent Coach.
And I have been loving the things you're posting on Facebook. Lots of great resources for parents, lots of great ideas. So thank you for the work that you're doing always, and particularly to help parents through this difficult time.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, that wraps up today's episode. Wherever you are in this world, I hope you make it a very collaborative day for yourself.